Hey there, I'm Benjamin from On the Road Accounting, and today we're going to tackle something that every trucker needs to know, which is how to set up a business account for your trucking business. I know that managing finances on the road can be a bit of a hassle, but I'm going to break it into 10 easy steps. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to open a business bank account and take your trucking business to the next level, even if you're just getting started. Let's hit the road and dive right in. Okay, the first thing is you're going to need to think about what the right bank is. And really, the first and second steps kind of happen at the same time. But anyway, we'll go in order. You're going to think about the bank. Think about this. You're on the road all the time. Okay, maybe you already have a local bank, but you're thinking, how can I access? If you're like me, you live in a small town. That's one of the advantages of being a trucker. But you don't have easy access to that bank all the time. So you got to choose the right bank, and you got to choose one that understands the needs of truckers, and it's important to find one that understands your lifestyle. You're on the road all the time. So look for banks that offer things like low fees, mobile banking options, good mobile banking options, not just a simple app, and integrations with accounting software like QuickBooks, Xero, FreshBooks, those things like that. Online only banks can be a great option since you're constantly on the road and they often come with lower fees. Some banks that are great for truckers include Relay and QuickBooks Online with your subscription can also give you has a checking account built into there, and then you can order a debit card from there. That's what I have personally for my business, and it works seamlessly. When somebody pays you, it goes right in there, and it doesn't take long at all for the money to hit the actual account. Okay, so that offers some flexibility and ease of use when you're away from home. And some of those banks do have ways to deposit cash in a lot of different ways also. But these days, you're probably not getting a lot of cash. You're probably getting paid electronically, so it's almost like a minor consideration. And remember, you don't have to go with a bank that has your personal account. I know that's a tendency for a lot of people. That's what I did at first with a different business I had. And you kind of, if it's a small bank, you have different needs for your personal and your business accounts a lot of times, especially if you're often out of town. So really think carefully about that. It's easy enough to transfer money back and forth between the accounts. Okay, so the second step, before you can open that account, so really, is it the first step? Is it the second step? I don't know. You're watching the whole video, so it doesn't matter. Right. So what you need to do is you need to decide on a business name and you need to get your business officially registered. So if you're operating as a sole proprietor or an LLC or a corporation, probably one of the first two, sole proprietor or LLC, banks will need to see some kind of proof of registration. For sole proprietors, that could be a DBA, a doing business as. Depending on where you're at, you might just need to file something with the county or the city. It's done different ways in different places, so I can't really tell you how to do it. If you're an LLC or corporation, you'll probably have to register with your state. You'll need the articles of incorporation or whatever the registration documents are to show the bank that you're a legitimate entity. So get all your paperwork in order before you roll into the bank or start an online application. Next up, you've got to gather the right paperwork. Banks are going to ask you for a few key documents. So here are a few of them so that they can verify your business. You'll need your employer identification number, EIN. However, if you are a sole proprietor, you can probably use your social security number. You can get an EIN if you're a sole proprietor, but you don't necessarily have to until you start paying employees. You'll need your business license or certificate or that DBA, whatever's required in your area. It just kind of depends where you're at. Proof of your business address and some kind of personal identification like your driver's license or a passport. So every bank's a little bit different, so you may want to call them up, call a couple of them up, and get them to tell you exactly what they need. Some are a little easier than others. QuickBooks Online, their checking account is super easy. So if you don't want to fool with all that, that's kind of the easiest way to go. Now let's talk about the different types of business accounts. Most truckers start with a business checking account for everyday expenses, truck maintenance, fuel, and if you have other employees, payroll. But if you're just getting started, you may not have payroll just yet. Now, you may also want to open a savings account, stash away money for taxes. Don't forget about taxes or future investments like upgrading your rig. So you could set aside that money kind of easily. Some of the banks have different things like envelopes or whatever. So it just kind of depends on your bank. See what you need. If you accept credit card payments from clients, you'll need a merchant account to handle those transactions, making sure they come in, or you can just send invoices. Yeah, something to consider. So choose those accounts that make sense for your trucking business. Next, you need to decide, kind of going with the other theme of online or in-person kind of interactions with your bank. If you want a bank where you can walk in and talk to somebody, it might be kind of a regional or a local bank, then you just have to make sure that they have the features you need to actually run your business, or else if you're hanging on to a check until you can get back home or whatever. So decide about that. Are you fine using an online bank like Relay or the QuickBooks checking, or do you want somewhere where you can have more of an in-person experience? There's a lot to be said for the in-person. Just depends on you. So that's online or traditional. Online banks usually have lower fees. They don't generally have offices, or not very many, and they have lots of tools for digital banking. They're great for when you're on the road. But like I said, if you prefer face-to-face or need more personalized support, a traditional bank might be the better option. So just think about what you need and what you like. Okay, step 6. Once you've chosen your bank, it's time to schedule an appointment or fill out the application online. Most banks will probably let you fill out all the applications online, but some local banks might want you to come in. So if you need to schedule that, you're probably going to need to plan at least 30 minutes, maybe longer, to get all those documents in order. Make sure you know what you're going to bring, have it all in order, and everything will be fine. Okay, step 7. Think about your initial deposit. That's another question that you're going to have to ask. So you're going to probably, for most business accounts, you're going to have to make at least some form of a deposit, $25, $50, maybe $500. It just depends on the bank. Probably not 500, maybe 50 or 100. So just call them up and make sure that you're ready. Ask them what kind of payment they take. Will they just take a debit card from another bank and charge that, or do you need to write them a check? Do you need to bring cash? Just come in there prepared, because if you're going for an in-person visit, you want to get it all done at once. You don't want to be going back multiple times, especially when you're supposed to be on the road and you probably took a day off to do it this way. Okay, step 8. Once your bank account is open, you've done everything successfully, make sure you set up online banking and your alerts. Remember, you're going to be on the road a lot. You want to be able to access your account. So make sure you know how to do mobile deposits, bill pay, notifications for low balances or large transactions, so that you can stay on top of your finances even when you're hundreds of thousands of miles away from your branch. Okay, step 9. If you're using online accounting software like QuickBooks Online, Xero, or other accounting software, I personally, as a bookkeeper, use QuickBooks Online. It's really easy. Now you want to link your business bank account. Okay, you just go in there, link it up, and it'll automatically start importing the transactions, so that when you go in there, or your bookkeeper or accountant goes in there to categorize those transactions, get them all in the right categories, they don't have to be calling you like you're missing transactions or whatever. Most banks will offer seamless integrations as far as the importing the actual transactions. Some are better than others, so that's something to check out. That saves you a lot of time, and it makes it easier to manage your money while you're on the road. In addition, if your bank does not have that, you're going to have a hard time getting a bookkeeper or an accountant to actually want to work with you, because they're not going to want to manually import all that stuff. So that's probably the number one consideration for a bank. All the other stuff is preference. Okay, finally, step number 10, keep your business and your personal finances separate. Now that you have a business account, you should have been trying to keep them separate anyway, even if you were having to use your own money. But especially now that you got a separate account, mixing them up can create major headaches during tax season. It's hard to see how well your business is doing if you're just chunking your own cash in there, or if your spouse is working and you're just taking their money and putting in your business. It's hard to tell, where the separation is. So you really want to be able to see how profitable your own business is. So keep that separate. If you don't have enough money in your business account for a transaction, especially when you're starting, that does happen. What I recommend is taking the money and putting it in from your personal, because lots of owners have to invest money in their business. Go ahead and put that in your business account, and then make the payment out of the business account, because at least that helps you track the expenses, and then you can track the owner's investment and all that. In that way, instead of trying to bring in, make journal entries and everything, bring it all in from your personal account, it's easier just to make the investment and then spend all the money from the business account. Much easier. Okay, that's it. 10 simple steps to get your business bank account set up and ready for the road ahead. The sooner you get this done, the smoother your financial management will be, especially as your trucking business grows. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tips for keeping your trucking business running smoothly. If you got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks.